everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of a podcast about movies, TV shows, video games, and lots of pop culture and nerds things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me per usual, it is Brian, also known as the Beard, and the Reliable, and the Spider-Man villain, Mr. Negative on a Dragon Ball Z Redemption arc. How you doing, Brian?
I exist. Another day.
Brian.
Another. What do they say? I don't know. I was gonna say something
not
really
a
dark.
dollar.
Never mind. Yeah.
Oh no. Yes, we're here. We're giving 30% today, listeners.
Hey, 35, baby.
We're here. It's just me and Brian for this week, but that doesn't mean there's stuff to talk about because, as you can tell by the title, there is some good chunk of stuff to talk about. But so it's going to be a bit of a, we've done one of these in the past, a bit of a newsy main topic hybrid where the news is the main topic because there was just a lot of it. So we're going to talk about some stuff, and we'll get back to your regularly planned main topics probably next week.
Listen, guys, I didn't watch House of the Dragon. I'm doing my best.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I'll be the first to admit it's hard to watch this much TV.
It is hard, especially whenever one of those episodes is like an hour and 10 minutes long. It's
exactly.
A lot of TV. It is a lot. But with that, though, Brian, should we just hop into our first segment of the week, also known as our Fourtress of this week?
Let's do it.
News talk.
Yeah, listeners. This is a fortress we're trapped in. It is a big Disney fortress. We've been in one before. Maybe 2 years ago, I think we covered this as a main topic thing. But we're back in again because we are in the fortress of
23 D23.
23 Disneys. I don't remember why it's 23.
I was gonna ask. I was like,
it's
it's not 23 years of Disney. Disney's been much longer than that. I don't understand.
It's been like 100 years. Yeah.
Right. Also, it's 2024.
It's something that Walt Disney did. I don't know.
Okay. Is he not cryogenically frozen? Who cares?
Yeah.
That's why he made the movie Frozen, or that's why they made the movie Frozen. So when you look it up, you don't find out that it's cryogenically. It's a whole thing. Look it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, listeners. So we'll be talking about D23 just happened this past weekend. So we'll be talking about all the different, not all of them. We're not going to talk about all of them. We're going to talk about some of the announcements and trailers and stuff that was dropped over the past of the weekend. Oh, as usual, listeners, skip sections and spoilers if you want to. Those are all in the type codes and stuff like that. With that, let's get into the first bit of news. We're going to kind of separate these into subcategories of Disney, because they own everything. But this one is kind of on its own. So let's just start at the top. Avatar 3. They finally got a title.
Fire and Ash.
We knew they were going fire people.
Right.
How red will they be?
I mean, they're going for the premiere shot. So there's going to be so much orange fire in the background. You're gonna hear the crackling of everything. It's gonna be a beautiful movie. Let's be real.
Yeah, absolutely.
That being said, I still have not seen the last
Brian,
one.
I think you need to see it because I genuinely think it's better than the first one.
I'm sure it is.
Anyway wise,
Yeah,
I think
I'm
it's
sure
genuinely a lot better.
I just have to watch it in pieces. I'm sure. I don't know if I can watch it all in one go because that's a long ass movie. Yeah,
it is a long movie. Coming next year, next December.
Wasn't it really supposed to come out the same time as Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think so, but I think that got quickly pushed.
Okay,
at one point.
I knew it never was going to, but I was really surprised that they were going to push it back a full year like that.
Yeah,
no competition for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which also is not going to come out December 2024.
They haven't shown. Look,
that's just not coming out.
It might not. I don't know if it's going to.
It's not coming out.
I don't know what they're doing.
I don't have any inside sources, but that's just not coming out.
Yeah, so I think my biggest thing with this, I don't think this will make as much money as the second Avatar did.
I don't know how the second one made as much money as it did. I'm still mind-boggled about that.
I don't know how it did either, but I think the one advantage was for somehow because it took so long. What was it, like 11 years? Yeah. Somehow because it took so long, people were nostalgic for Avatar. It had been that long. This one would only be like 2 years, 3 years between movies. So that's why I don't think that spark will be there. Again, if it's just as visually impressive as the last one was, maybe. But I don't think because people wanted to go back to that world for a decade.
That's fair.
later.
I mean, Avatar World started being built and stuff like that. Like somehow there's a weird amount of hype around it, which is so. I thought that it would be in this detriment, the fact that it took 11 years to make the new one. But apparently, like you said, maybe people were so hyped that I needed this again. I miss it that it happened. Yeah. So yeah, I do think it could potentially somehow be too soon for them to make another one because the graphical like jump hasn't been big
Belief?
enough either.
Yeah.
That'll be like, yeah, it's not going to be a situation where it's like, oh my God, this movie looks even better than that first movie, which was like unheard of back in the time that the first one came out. So I don't know. They might be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, but also the only person I know to even see the second one was you. You just saw it 5 times.
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah, whereas like I don't, and that's why I'm like, how did this movie make $18 billion when I only know one person that saw it? But
yeah, it's kind of nuts.
James Cameron is making robots to watch the movie. I don't know.
Maybe
it's at that level. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I guess we'll see in a year.
Yeah,
right.
We'll see in a year. Yeah, unless it gets delayed, which I would imagine maybe not. I mean, look, I would imagine 9 months out of this year, they're just waiting for computers to render.
I was going to say, yeah. Honestly, the whole movie's done. They're just waiting to render it out. It's going to take the next 9 months.
Yeah.
No, James Cameron, he's locked in. At first, it was kind of like, we're gonna make 5 of them, and it's gonna be one every couple years. And then he kind of fell back on that. No, he's back locked in. He saw all those dollars, and he was like, "Yep, Avatar forever, baby."
Oh yeah. All right, moving on. Let's head into the Disney quote unquote section of this, which is like the Disney animated stuff that's not Pixar and or Marvel or Star Wars. So we got another trailer for Moana 2, which is coming out this Thanksgiving. Which again, honestly, I will say it might be like an expectations thing, because I think we had heard that this was originally going to be a Disney Plus show that they ended up turning into a movie. Lin-Manuel was not doing the music. The Rock and I can't remember what her name is that plays Moana. Weren't attached because I think it was going to Disney Plus, and so they weren't attached to it originally. But then they got them back, so it was all very like, is this going to be good?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie though, watching this trailer, I think it might be fun. It might be good. I will miss the music definitely, but the vibes are still there. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest Moana fan, like as a whole. I thought the movie was, decent, but not as. I don't know that it should have been as highly praised as it was. And I hate saying that because I still do think it has a lot of like really cute and charming things, especially when it comes to like some of the lessons that it teaches, some of the cultural diversity that's also in the movie is really important. This looks fun. It looks fun. You know what I mean?
It looks fun.
I won't say that I'll like rush out of my chair to go and see it in theaters, but it does look like a cute movie that I think will definitely like scratch that itch that I feel like Moana fans are probably kind of waiting for.
Yeah,
I do like that. I played that game Disney Dreamlight Valley for a long time, and those characters were in that. Of course, it was the boulder and Mo'una, but it's still kind of like the world and stuff that's around that game still kind of like made you be like, okay, yeah, I remember this shit. Like this feels good. I like this a lot. So I definitely think that it's a world that's worth expanding. I hope they introduce, and I don't know if they showed enough in the trailer. I hope they introduce like some new interesting characters that could go to a Disney Plus show. Which I mean, with the coconuts or whatever, that's probably kind of what they're doing. A raving rabbit.
I could see them running a bunch of like shorts,
exactly, or like a Minions kind of thing. It's definitely feeling like that, where that's going to end up being like their big like sell for this movie, especially that'll go to Disney Plus, have toys, things like that. But yeah, absolutely. I don't know. It looks cute, so we'll see what happens with it.
We'll see. Brian, though, I forgot we just talked about a trailer, so we got to hop into the trailer park for a hot sec. So.
Mom Spaghetti.
We love Moana. Do we? I don't know.
Excellent. Love that. Get ready to do that about 5 more times during this segment, because I'm gonna make you do it every time.
Every single time. Let's go, baby.
Sorry, Jackie, for the edit. You're gonna have to put this in here a lot. Actually, I'm gonna mark these down because it's gonna be hilarious.
Just reuse the same one that I did that time over and over again, or don't. I don't care.
No, you're gonna have to do it. It's gonna be fresh every time. All right, moving on. Yeah, Frozen 3 got delayed to 2027, but they also announced Frozen 4, which I'm like, I've never seen any of these movies, but cool. I'm happy for you.
Oh, you never saw Frozen 1? That's crazy.
I think I might have. I've seen bits and pieces, but I don't think I've ever seen the whole thing ever.
Interesting. I think the first one's a good movie. I never saw the second one, but I heard it was mid compared to the first one.
Yeah, see, that's what I heard too. I heard I've honestly heard both. I've heard the second one is either like worse, terrible than the first, or people really fucking like it. I've never heard it's in the middle at all.
The first has a terrible plot hole. That's my biggest issue with it. Is the plot hole is so egregious that it makes you like, okay, this has to be for children, because anyone with a half a brain that's fully developed or frontal lobe will be like, okay, this is fucking stupid. Yeah, 2027 is one of those things that I hate, like announcements, or I hate getting excited for things, because then I start worrying, like, am I going to be alive for when these things come out?
I know, right?
You know what I mean? It's like when it gets that egregious where it's like, oh, well, 2030, wait for fucking House of the Dragon season 5.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm going to live to 2030, bro. Like, can we speed this up?
It's one of those things where it's like now it's a life goal. It's like I gotta make it to 2030. So
literally, Game of Thrones was for the longest time. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to see the fucking end of Game of Thrones.
Right.
Definitely won't see the end of the book. George R. R. Martin's going to outlive me, fucking idiot. When did the second one come out? 2022?
I think it was.
Was it earlier than that?
Post-pandemic?
I don't
feel
remember.
like it was pre-pandemic.
Was it pre-pandemic? Was it that long ago? We can look it up. We have the technology. Frozen 2
yeah, that's true.
Came out 2019. What the fuck?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
It must have come out right before Star Wars. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it might have.
Yep, it was November. Came out in November.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
Okay, well, fuck me then, I guess. So yeah, 2027 for a third movie is actually wild.
8 years later for that's crazy. That's crazy.
You might not have your full cast.
And you're announcing 4? When is the fourth one gonna come out? 2040?
Can't wait for 2040 when Kristen Bell has already passed over.
Oh no. Yeah, that's kind of see it's one of these announcements where I'm like, we can skip just because it's like I don't really get that excited personally for concept art. It's like, oh cool. I need a little more. That's very fun.
Exactly. I need at least some pre-screening, some renders before I can like really feel something for sure.
Speaking of renders, let's move on. Lilo and Stitch got a little bit of a live action announcement.
How could they massacre my boy?
Oh no! Okay, I was gonna say, how you feel about Stitch, Brian?
I mean, he looks fine. He looks exactly how I expected him to look if you're gonna do a live action version of him, which is so funny. Being someone
furry.
Yeah, someone that likes Sonic the Hedgehog and knowing the monstrosity that was that character design. Disney obviously knows how to design a character, especially in 3-dimensional art as well. So I can't be mad at them for that. That being said, I don't need this.
I mean, we knew it would happen at some point. They're going to do it with all of them, but yeah.
Would Lilo and Stitch been the next one to do? What about Hercules? They're like Tarzan.
I'm waiting for Hercules. I can't believe they've been waiting this long to do a Hercules. Hercules is the one where it's like, we want to see him fight a 12-headed Hydra in live action. Why aren't we doing this?
Potentially cool in live action. Whereas like Lilo and Stitch, I feel like Lilo and Stitch is after that like level of Disney. So I'm very confused on that. Who's Lilo's sister? What's her name? I can't remember the character's name. She got to be caked up. I'm sorry.
I was about to say Lady Thickness.
I hate to be misogynistic on the podcast, but
I did.
we know what she looks like.
We know.
Let's not whitewash this. Let's not colorize this. Colorism, I know, is a big issue in the industry. Yep. Don't fuck around, Disney.
Let's get this right. Come on.
But also, I do hope this is like actually like I'm thinking just about like other characters that show up in that too. Who do you think would be the big black agent? I don't remember what his name was.
The alien guy?
Not the alien dude. But there was, like,
that guy?
The secret agent or whatever, the FBI?
Get the guy who voiced him, Ving Rhames. Just get Ving Rhames again.
Yeah. I wonder if they will. I hope so.
I feel like, because they always typically do that with like they have like one kind of casting that stays the same.
Sure.
I could see them doing that with Ving Rhames.
I actually kind of hope that.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. I was like, I hope they don't just put The Rock in another role.
No.
Or,
I mean,
put Kevin Hart.
Polynesian.
And then make him big.
No!
Put Kevin Hart in there and then CGI size him up. I think that could actually be hilarious. He needs the money. Borderlands is doing really badly. So.
Oh, yeah, listeners, we didn't see, none of us saw Borderlands yet because also,
I'm gonna see it.
It's atrocious. I think I'm going to see it too, but man, I hear it's bad. But no, God, Kevin Hart, no, we don't need him.
I'm trying to think of other ideas of what you could do. The dude from the Green Mile unfortunately passed away.
I know
he would have been a great choice.
Yeah. I was gonna say Terry Crews, but I feel like he's too funny.
He would love to do it though.
But he would. He would
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, just bring Ving Rhames back. Fuck it. Just bring Ving Rhames back.
I think I agree with that. But yeah, I feel pretty lukewarm about this as a whole. I don't know. I know it's not going to be as good as I want it to be, and that's okay. It's not for me.
Same. I to be fair, I was also not like the biggest Lilo and Stitch fan. Like that was just past like our generation of like the big Disney era, and so I wasn't as attached to it. Also because I hated Stitch. I was like, this fucking terrorist. He's a lunatic.
Stitch reminds me a lot of my cat
God.
Onyx, honestly. Stitch is like, he's one of those guys who's like, why can't you just be good? Stop being a shithead.
Can you relax?
You're ruining everything. Yeah, so no, I could definitely feel that. It's a tough story to get through, but it's wholesome at the end.
Right. So we'll see. We will see. That's coming summer of next year. For some reason that can render perfectly. Next. We're still in the trailer park, or back to the trailer park. So, Brian.
Mob Spaghetti.
The best part is I have like I play like it's a ukulele, but I'm supposed to be playing a banjo.
I know.
It's a mini banjo, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, listeners, we got our first teaser for Disney's Snow White. No, it's not called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's just Snow White. Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Again, kind of like Lilo and Stitch, I never really give a shit about Snow White. So.
I mean, yeah, that was a hard one. I feel like either you were a woman that liked this movie or you were everybody else.
I just never cared about it.
It's a love story, right? It's a love story it's really old, so that's really tough too.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone born in our generation just didn't really fuck with that era of, and the
Not
ones
as
that
much.
did were kind of already into that kind of stuff as it was.
Right.
Peter Dinklage ruined this movie, by the way.
I was about to say, Brian, you, what you got over there?
So, and this is where it's kind of like a tough thing, and not to get like controversial, but it does like bring a big kind of like hole into like where are actors allowed to exist in spaces, especially like non-white, like physically, I guess, quote unquote, abled characters can fit in spaces. Because obviously we know the tale Snow White and the Seven Dwarves involves little people to some extent. They're called dwarves in the original concept.
In the universe.
Right. Yeah. And that can be, whether that be a race or not, is kind of like, we don't really know, just based on the original story. But of course, that would involve usually either one of two situations. Either you hire little people to take that job, or you hire actors of average height and then turn them into little people. Yep. And both have their own problems on each side. Peter Dinklage specifically was like pretty hard fighting against it, against like using real life actors, because he was kind of like, we shouldn't be typecasted into these roles because that's harmful in its own way, which I 100% understand and agree with them to a certain extent. Where it's like, it kind of sucks to be like, you can only get one role because you're a little person. Like, that's not how it should be. You should be open to all roles the same way that anybody else is. At the same time, you saying that Peter Dinklage is taking away roles from people that would have gotten this role that aren't you in this space, which, let's not pretend that Bad Santa didn't have an influence on your career further. Not to say that was a good first job for you or whatever. I think that was one of his like first big roles. He was the elf in Bad Santa or Bad Santa 2, one of the two.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of like, that sucks that's like was the role that you were like, he's little, so he's perfect for it. But at the same time, it's like, that could be people's end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I can't remember who the actor or person was, but there was definitely a person who was a little person that like kind of had the complete opposite effect or argument in terms of like, I'm just trying to get a job.
Exactly.
And so
that's kind of the thing.
It's easy. The whole thing of it's easy for Peter Dinklage. This is what that person was saying, how it's easier for Peter Dinklage to say this from his money pit up high.
Exactly. And that's why it's kind of, it feels a little privileged, like I know you came from the struggle. We all know your storyline, like how you started out in your car and shit like that. So we know that you would have taken any job at that point. And it goes for a lot of things. Like we criticize, like, like Abu from The Simpsons, for example, a very racist character in a whole, but had it been taken by a person of that ethnicity they were trying to make fun of, that could be, you know what I mean? Someone made money for that job. And you can find better work for that. Black actors, trans actors, things like that. You are like, it sucks to get typecast and be like, I'm the actor that's always going to be the trans person in any, movie or role or something like that. But also, if you put someone that's not trans in that role, you're taking that role from someone that would be the most deserving of that role because they would know it the best. You know what I mean?
It's a tough space.
It's a tough space. It's a tough space. And honestly, the CGI in this trailer, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
should have watched it again on a bigger screen because I watched it on my phone. So when I watched it on my phone, I was like, this doesn't look horrible. I just don't care that much.
That's fair.
Honestly, the worst part was, I forgot that Gal Gadot is in this.
Why is she in this?
I forgot that she's the fucking evil queen or enchantress, whatever the hell they call it in this version.
I'm sorry.
And I was just like, oh.
That is a terrible casting choice in every way, shape, and form. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
I really want to know, is she going to be the crooked old woman? Is she going to put like a weird nose on and like be all hunchback and shit?
I sure hope so. I sure fucking hope so.
Could you imagine her doing that?
That was 100% of like, we got her and we got the money. Let's fucking put her in there, right? You know what I mean? Maybe her role isn't important enough that we need to have her be charismatic or whatever the fuck we need her to be. But.
I mean, to be honest, like if she's not, she's in the movie for what, like 10 minutes?
Exactly.
At least in the original. The when she's all like queenie, whatever. She's barely in that movie. Most of the time, she is that fucking old woman.
Yeah, I don't. The casting choice of this movie, I am not super hot on.
It'll be a thing.
You know what it's giving me? God, what was that fucking movie called? Was it the Red Riding Hood movie?
Oh yeah,
they picked like a bunch of angsty casting choices, and I was like, why did we do this?
Yeah, I can't remember, but
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's a bad movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not, like you said. None of us are big Snow White fans, so I'm not going to be super harsh on it. But I am not interested in this, unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, we got to move on. But first, Brian, a new contender has joined the
Player 3 has entered the battle.
All right, yes, listeners, I had to intercut because Devin is now here. You know him as the beard and or the brains of Mr. Nowhere. Devin, you've missed a little bit of Disney stuff, but that's okay because there's still plenty more to talk about.
It turns out there's always Disney stuff.
Talking about the Snow White trailer, and you brought up to our attention, I forgot that because this movie has been trying to be made for a gazillion years, they did release an image of what they're doing with the dwarves, and I forgot how ugly it is.
Yeah, some pretty deep uncanny valley stuff. I don't.
It looks like the Polar Express.
I don't know what the thought process is here, because you could have done, and like I get it, because like I guess Peter Dinklage didn't want them to use like actual, what's the correct term? Little people,
I believe.
Little people. They like, I guess they didn't want to do just like little people casted for the dwarves, but then I don't know, they could have done something like Lord of the Rings, just kind of done some size stuff, but they've done this weird in between where it's like, these are not humans and they are very, very weird looking.
Yeah. I mean, me and Brian was talking about that, how it's like a bit of a double-edged sword in the sense that if you go the route of only casting little people, then people will be upset. And if you go the route of casting no little people, then people will be upset. So they went with, let's just not do either one of those, I guess. And we'll just, we'll make a computer do it, and then we'll voice them all with AI.
Right. And I mean, honestly, it's still upsetting because we talked about it a little bit.
Whatever they did, it should not have been this.
Little people deserve jobs, and they deserve jobs, period. But also, if they're going to make something that like only those people could really fill in a not like, taking away jobs away, use little people. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, Cleveland being voiced by a white man was worse than Cleveland being a stereotype. I'm talking about Family Guy. Family Guy was worse than being him voiced by a black guy and being a stereotype. You know what I mean? It sucks that he's a stereotype and he shouldn't be. Like, it's a problematic character. But at least if you're going to do it, don't make it a white guy. At least you're going to do it. Don't make it a 6'5" motherfucker. Like, when you already know it's hard enough to break into the industry as a little person.
I want The Rock to play Dopey.
I just don't understand why all the faces have to be CGI. Why not just use real actors and just play with the size a little bit?
Because they didn't want to. They didn't want to do that because they were too scared.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah. 1,000%.
I mean, nobody's complaining about Gimli, but that's because it was
that movie was made 20 years ago.
That's also
this movie's being made now.
Go on Twitter. I'm sure you can find criticisms of Lord of the Rings for sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
true. So this movie's gonna come out next year, apparently, and
my biggest criticism is Gal Gadot being in it.
Yeah, that's a look. We all know she's not the greatest actor in the world.
Fuck the dwarf criticism. Her and Sydney Sweeney can't keep getting roles. They can't keep getting roles. This isn't okay. I'm sorry. I love them.
I'm just thinking it's the fucking Jesse meme from Breaking Bad. You can't keep getting away with this.
Also, isn't the plot of Snow White that she's trying to steal her like good looks?
Yes,
but it's Gal Gadot,
right? Or she just wants her dead.
I think she wants I think she stays young or something from stealing the youth of women. I don't think it's so much that she wants to be pretty.
I really forgot.
But she just puts her to sleep with that. I don't know.
I can't
honestly,
remember.
Who cares?
Right. It's probably really dark.
They're gonna have some work to do to make that feasible.
Yeah. Because I would imagine the original movie is probably like 70 minutes long total, and they're gonna tack on another probably like 40 minutes to this movie somehow.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least 2 original songs.
Yeah. Please no. Less of that.
All right, let's continue on with our Disney train here. This one, guys, I'm actually excited for one of these, and it is for Tron Ares, the I guess 3rd movie after Tron Legacy, a movie that I'm kind of bummed that was kind of a flop because I genuinely like Tron Legacy. I think that's a good time. I really like that movie, and especially the soundtrack. Thank you, Daft Punk. R.I.P. Daft Punk. Awesome, they're not dead; they just don't exist anymore. But and so Tron Ares, the 3rd one, they announced. I know this one also probably not going to do well. Not going to lie, it's probably going to flop.
You think so?
Yeah, it's Tron, and also because Jared Leto is your lead, and no one likes him anymore.
Oh, that's fair.
See,
why not bring the last guy back? I don't remember his name, but
I told you because that movie didn't do well enough for them to warrant bringing any of those characters back.
Jared fucking Leto, bro.
Yeah, God. That's where they
look. He's a robot man. He could. I see why they casted him.
I saw this is completely offside, but I saw a random TikTok where someone like saw him like flying coach or something, and they took the most egregious video of this man where they like are walking down the aisle and just like they obviously have the cam like on like their chest or something, and he just like slide over and just stare at him, and they pause, they stop in the aisle, and then Jared Leto's like, "What the fuck?" And he just keeps walking, and it's like. That's so fucking weird. Like, yeah, he's a weird dude, but let the man fucking live his life. He wants to fly coach. Right? If he didn't want to pay fucking, Delta airline prices first class.
That's the last time he's flying coach.
Like, listen, I'll fly fucking Spirit, even if I did make billions of dollars. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know. It's very weird.
I don't know, man. I think if you made billions, I think that's the first thing that you would upgrade.
You think so?
Flying.
Oh, I barely fly, period, because I make so little money. So, like, even flying would be like a treat to me. So, fucking I'll be back of the fucking bus. I don't care.
But if you had billions and like G7, like chartering a G7 private jet is like.
I do not trust private jets. Too many of them crash. I'm not going out.
I wouldn't go with the private jet route, but I would definitely go like the first class route.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Jared Leto, he wants to be like one of us. He's probably method acting for, I don't know, being middle class. It doesn't fucking matter. Anyway, it's really sucks.
There with the pores.
I agree. Yeah, I didn't know that movie did so poorly. I really enjoyed it.
Oh my god, visually it's great. Like the story, like it's fine. It's not like the greatest thing in the world. But I thought the action and all the cool, like the light cycle stuff, I thought all of that was
I was going to say, maybe it was too little too late, but like, why would a movie like that do poorly, but Jumanji do so well?
I mean, is it a marketing thing? Like maybe.
I mean, it's The Rock. If The Rock was in Tron Legacy, that movie would have made money.
Like the music, it's just such a cool, I don't know, man. It's a cool, like,
I love that movie.
I thought the original Tron was really cool. So that's why I was like, of course I was excited for the new movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tron Legacy doesn't get enough respect.
But so Jeff Bridges is back. He's back, even though spoilers for Tron Legacy, he exploded. He died. Which is but he's back, they say, in some kind of godly fashion. So he's probably like the god of Tron world. And Jared Leto is he is a computer program, I think, that escapes to the real world. And apparently in some of this leak footage that come out is like it shows like light cycles in the real world, like, and apparently like cutting a cop car in half. So I'm like, that could be kind of interesting.
Sure.
That could be something cool. But the biggest thing for me personally, if you can't get Daft Punk back because they don't exist anymore, they got 9 Inch Nails to come and do the soundtrack, and that I'm kind of very excited for that, to be honest.
Yeah, I am honestly just as excited about that.
And there's a reason why at this thing they had like a big old kind of like light show announcement that 9 Inch Nails was doing the music, which in my head I'm like, when they announce it like that to me, because we know, or at least I don't know if you guys know that Trent Reznor, who is the 9 Inch Nails man, it's just him. Trent Reznor and has a partner named Atticus Ross, and those two have been partners in doing music for a while. They did the music for The Social Network. They did music for, I think, Gone Girl, maybe a bunch of stuff. And in the way they phrased it here, it seems like it might not be both of them. It might just be Trent Reznor as 9 Inch Nails. It's funny that the way they phrased it as 9 Inch Nails. So
right,
it might be more 9 Inch Nails flavored than ever before. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited for that.
Sure. we were fucking with Nine Inch Nails fairly recently because we were fucking with Trent Reznor, when he helped with Halsey's. I guess not most recent album now because I'm pretty sure they put out something after that. But
the only Halsey album I know.
right. It's my favorite because it's the only one I know. I've liked Nine Inch Nails for a long time, so that's super cool. I think I'm most excited about that.
Yeah, so soundtrack hopefully it should be pretty banging. All right, let's continue on, but to do so, Brian, it's trailer park time again, my boy.
Bob Spaghetti.
We're back again, baby.
That is a little extra spice on that one.
A little twang on that one.
Banjos and tune.
Yes, listeners, we're back again because this time it's a new trailer for Mufasa, the Lion King prequel to the Lion King, where Mufasa dies. Spoilers for the Lion King. Look, this is a weird movie, and also I didn't realize it until this trailer. There's a reason, I would imagine, why Lin-Manuel didn't come back from Moana 2. One, because it was originally going to be a Disney Plus series. Two, because he's doing the music for this movie. And the fact that those two are coming out the same year, I was like, oh, that's why, because he took a different job. Now I get it. But anyways, I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm kind of more excited for this than I thought I would be. Only in the sense that I think we talked about this the last time we talked about whatever teaser or whatever trailer came out for this in the past couple months. It's because it's not a remake, and it's not like I don't know what's going, I know what's going to happen in the sense of we know where Mufasa and Scar end, but we don't know what's going to happen in the meantime. And this looks like kind of action packed and kind of fun. And it looks like they've definitely taken the criticism from the Lion King where it's like, these lions just look like lions, and it's sad to watch a real lion die.
That's
true. That's true.
They look a little more animated in this trailer, so I don't know.
In the age of climate change and conservation, it's like every time you see a lion die or something, you're like, God, please.
I know, right?
Get him to the reserve.
That's crazy. I'm not as hype about it as you are. I do agree with you that I do think the fact that it's something fucking different, giving a Lion King 1.5 or Lion King 2 kind of where those movies actually kind of slept. Yeah, that's the only reason that really excites me. But I just don't like the way the animals look. I hate the way Pumbaa looks. Fair. I hate the way the lions look.
Pumbaa's gross.
The white lions kind of look pretty cool. I was like, that's pretty cool. Fucking, they're
that's
from the Deadlands or whatever. Whatever. But I don't know, man. I'm just not. I guess I was really burnt by the original Lion King. We saw it in theaters. It was a really shitty theater. There was a bunch of children. It was sticky floors. The movie was too long.
You saw it at that theater. Yeah, it was a bad time. Yeah.
I just was not vibing with it at all. No. I guess after seeing Aladdin being a better live action movie compared to a lot of the other ones I saw, this one was just disappointing to me. So it's going to be hard to get me back on board, I guess.
Yeah. I definitely agree. One thing I will say, based off the plot that we've learned, Scar's name isn't Scar. They're going with Taka. So there you go. We now know that. And also, they're going to have to do some work to get me to justify Mufasa, because in this trailer, it looks like Scar was the rightful heir to the throne, and somehow Mufasa's going to take that shit. And I might look at the Lion King a little differently after this.
Listen,
I don't know. I might be like, Scar was right.
I would have killed his ass too. Fuck that idiot. What do you mean?
That's how it goes.
They're making Mufasa a colonizer, guys.
They're definitely going the Maleficent kind of thing, where it's like, oh, actually, the whole time, Cruella de Vil, actually the whole time, she was the victim. But honestly, I would have killed his ass too. I no longer am mad about this situation.
I'm like, how the fuck are they gonna do this? And that Mufasa takes the throne. What the hell are they gonna do?
Damn. levels to Scar's character.
That'll be really interesting to see.
Right.
I'm just saying, justice for Scar is all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's coming out this December. I think around Christmas time. So that'll be some for kids to see. And I'll go see it if I hear it's good. If I hear it's really bad, I probably won't. Actually, you know what? I'm probably going to see it because it's Lin-Manuel, and I'm excited to hear some more music from him.
That's
so
fair.
I'll probably will go see it.
Even if it's mid, I'm not going to see it. It's got to be good, or
it's got to be great.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll watch it with my nieces at some point on Disney Plus, but that will be the max.
That'll be literally what I'll probably do if it's not an amazing movie.
Fair enough. Yeah. All righty. Let's move on to our next subgenre of Disney. It's the Marvel genre, because they actually had some more stuff to show that they saved since Comic-Con. The first one being Ironheart. Remember this show that I forgot existed.
Oh.
Yeah, they apparently showed off some footage from the Ironheart series that's coming out next year, I guess.
Stop doing shows, man. Go back to movies. Like, no time for the shit.
Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm getting a little burnt on all the Disney Plus shows. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just not watching them, and my life is considerably better for it.
Yeah, I mean, look, from what I hear from this footage, they did that. It looked good in terms of like Ryan Coogler's an executive producer, which that could mean a lot or could mean absolutely nothing. You know how that goes. Sometimes they just put a name on it and just to give people hope. But yeah, it looks like Riri Williams is back. She's getting kicked out of fucking MIT and has her own looks like a very Mark I-esque Iron Man suit, which I kind of like because I really hated her suit in Wakanda Forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like the CG of it, it just looked really bad in my brain. I was like, I don't like this at all. But also that whole kind of sequence, like Brian has complained about, it's really CG heavy with the background and the water and the big boat, and it looks not that great.
I thought that shit was so boring. Yeah.
So that didn't help. And we got a look of Anthony Ramos. He's playing the Hood, a character that I don't really know about, except that he has a demonic hood or some sort. I don't know. They're really reaching, they're really reaching now. But yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say except the fact that, wow, this still exists and they're still doing it. But no word of Don Cheadle's Armor Wars. Who knows who that is?
I think she has a lot of recipe Blade. I think she has a lot of potential. We kind of talked about it when we talked about Black Panther 2, that I was like, it's unfortunate the way that she was kind of thrown into the movie, because I do think she had a lot of heart and a lot of like good chemistry when she was on the screen. She just kind of got thrown into a place that the character didn't really belong, and that was kind of the biggest issue. But I do think like maybe this could be a chance to really like flex the wings and show who you kind of are, the same way that we're kind of like dealing with I was about to call him the Black Falcon New Captain America in the same right, where it's like you're just kind of in a weird space. So we'll see what happens with it.
And like, as much as they've gotten like immensely better than they would have even 5-10 years ago, there's still something that there is a difference between a TV show and a movie. And it definitely shows at some point in it, and it probably will at this point, where there's going to be 2.5 episodes where she's not in a fucking suit at all because they're saving money for the last episode or whatever. Right. And it's like, bro, this is...
I was about to say.
I don't know, guys.
It sucks almost that like a movie costs so much, because like maybe make a Disney Plus movie. Like, you know how they used to make Disney Channel original movies? Do that. Yeah. Like there's usually not a reason to make 5, 6, 8 episodes of these things. Yeah. And it almost like it's to its detriment that they do that. I mean, Secret Invasion was so bad. I mean, it's so bad for a lot of reasons, but a big reason was the amount of filler. It was mostly just nothing happened. It should have been an hour-long special, and that been it.
Yeah.
But they had to milk it,
It's a really good point.
Yep. I definitely agree. It's hard. Well, it's because it's like a thing. Like when you go in to make a show, like you know how you're gonna pace it. But it seems like with a lot of these things, except for maybe like WandaVision and maybe a little bit of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but even just like the early ones, with the latter ones, it's like it's very clear that they have a movie script that they've now stretched into an 8-hour movie, which is that's a lot. That's 3 movies essentially. That's a long time for you to. You just made a trilogy for all these characters and you stretched out from one movie. So it's tough to do that. It's tough to do it.
Learn.
Yeah.
6 episodes max.
Agreed.
Honestly, I'm pushing 4.
He said 4. It's crazy.
Moving on. Daredevil, Born Again, another show that I feel like we've been talking about for 5 years.
Fucking ever.
They showed off some footage. We didn't get to see it, but there are some leaks. Punisher's in it. John Bernthal. Kingpin's in it. We got Karen and Foggy back, which I like. They brought pretty much all the people from the Netflix series. We get some shots of a bunch of different suits. Still no big old Double D on his chest, which I'm upset about, but that's okay.
Double D is crazy.
But look, I'm excited. Again, my biggest fear is that it's 18 episodes.
So that's what I wonder. I wonder if they're going to do like which could be interesting, because I feel like we haven't gotten this in a while. Everything has to be so big on a storyline that I wonder if they're going to
Uh-huh.
do a little like Saturday morning-ish kind of thing. Like, kind of like an X-Men situation where it's like, well, this is kind of a standalone episode where he goes on a little bit of a side quest. Mandalorian randomly did a decent job at that, I feel like, where it still kind of felt connected while still being like, oh, they're doing something completely not relevant to the main story at this point.
Yeah.
That's the only way I think they can make it 18 episodes, because 18 episodes of straight plot, that's a lot. That's not happening. Yeah,
that's a lot.
Like, let's be real.
For all we know, like, we could get another She-Hulk and him team up for a one-off episode.
Sure.
That could be kind of cool.
That's where I worry as well, though. Speaking of that, it's like, I do worry that they're going to turn it into, like, 6 episodes are going to be like the She-Hulk story. 6 episodes. Yeah, 6 episodes are going to be like, oh, like, this isn't Daredevil's show. This is going to be, the Punisher. Yeah. It just has 6 episodes in this show, and it's just his show.
I'm not going to lie, though. If there's 3 episodes where him and Spider-Man team up, I won't be mad.
That's fair. That'd be super cool. Yeah.
They definitely got some pieces because he's a New York City guy. So
that is my thing, is like, because this is his big first iteration into the MCU. How are they going to justify not seeing anyone else in him?
I mean, that'd be very comic booky of them to do, right? It's for him to be like, oh, I'm in fucking New York. Like, I'm in Queens right now. Fucking Spider-Man's here. Like, that makes sense, right? That could be cool. I don't know. I'd be interested to see how they go about it. I mean, we know Daredevil, like the Netflix show, was the best show that they made out of all of them by far.
Yeah.
So
18 is crazy though. Like
18 is a lot.
Are these like 40 minutes long or something? I mean, honestly, at this point, it would be refreshing if it was like kind of more similar to like mainstream TV, where it's just like you can miss 1 or 2, it's fine. Like there's a contained plot within each episode and maybe a little bit of like an overarching narrative. I think that would honestly be a breath of fresh air at this point, but I doubt that's what they will do.
Right.
My biggest thing is, like, as much as I do love those Netflix shows, I do love them for the most part. There's mainly Daredevil stuff. I still kind of wish I was like, bring him to the fucking A-League. Like, just put him in a movie. Like, why are we keep fucking around with this TV show shit? Like, why is Daredevil a B-leaguer? He can pull off his own movie.
Them shows, man. They love them shows. Got to keep your subscription.
They love them shows. I think I saw a headline. I don't know if it's real, that Disney finally made its first profit ever off a streaming service this year for the first time ever.
Really?
I think.
Well, it's because they jacked up everything by like, it's like $20-something now for like the original package they had with Hulu.
That was originally like what? Like, wasn't Disney Plus originally like $5.99 or something?
Yeah, it sure was.
For all 3, for 3 it was like $12, which was like a dummy good deal. But now they're like used to it. I mean, they're smart, man. They did it for like 2-3 years, and it's like, oh look, do you really want to get rid of it?
Oh yeah, yep. So yeah, Daredevil. I think that's coming next year. Hopefully we'll get that trailer that they showed soon. So we actually have something to look at. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to get to see him come back. Moving along. But to do so, Brian, it's your time again. We got hop back to the trailer part.
Mom's Spaghetti.
I like the new riffs we're getting.
Gotta change up a little
This is
bit.
part of a larger song.
I love this bit. We're back in the trailer park again, listeners, because we got another trailer, probably the final one, for Agatha All Along, which is coming out in a mere weeks.
Oh shit!
To Disney Plus, sometime in September. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got hyped with the song that they sang, the cool witchy vibe. It gave me I was like, oh, this give me Hocus Pocus vibes.
Devin's rubbing his eyes. He's over this shit.
He's over. Look, will this be good? I don't know, but it might just be so far out there, and we don't give a shit that it could be good.
If they make it dark, go for like an Acolyte kind of vibe, but actually like lean fully into it, man, I would be so down for that.
I mean, it looks like they're embracing the horror exorcism type stuff, but again, much like every Marvel thing, it might. I just don't want it to turn into a light show at the end. In the last episode.
Go all the way. Don't be cowards.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not hyped about this. I love Catherine Hahn. I love Aubrey Plaza, but like, man, they again really scratching the bottom of the barrel for some like some of these shows. Like,
and that's my biggest thing is I think that when they first announced it, like at the end of WandaVision, I think that's where the hype was the peak. And I think if they were able to capitalize that within a year, maybe a year and a half, peak would have gotten really good numbers, would have done really well. It's been too long. We don't remember WandaVision like that. Doctor Strange episode 2, movie 2 or whatever was pretty mid. It's just not.
Yep.
It's just not hitting what we needed to hit at this point, which is unfortunate because I do think that the actor that plays Agatha's a really good actor. I think she portrayed the character really well, and I think it was a really interesting story they were trying to tell. But it's a little too late. I'm really not interested anymore. And it also looks like it took a pretty big creative turn as what the show was going to be, and that's kind of interesting that I wasn't kind of expecting, I guess. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'll watch it, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Make it dark and we're in.
Sure.
I agree.
That's like the best bet. I think part of WandaVision being interesting was the fact that it was darker than what we'd seen in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I think it's 6, maybe 8 episodes, which again, I'm just like, that's a lot.
It should be 6.
That's a lot.
6 would be best.
I agree. It might even be 9. I don't even remember. Unless they're a half hour each, in which case I'm like, ooh. All right, we'll see. All right, moving on. That is it for the Marvel stuff. Let's move on to just a couple things. I really only have one thing to talk about in this Pixar stuff. And so if you guys want to talk about other ones, we can go back real quick. But The Incredibles 3 was announced. Brad Bird is back directing.
Damn, over Toy Story is crazy.
Fine, we talked about. I haven't even seen Toy Story 4. So I love the first Incredibles. It is, everyone knows, it is the best Fantastic Four movie ever made. Incredibles 2, I don't really remember it, which is not great, but I do love those characters, and I'm excited to see what they can do with The Incredibles 3.
Yeah, Violet and what was the name of the fast one?
Dash,
going to college.
He's that old that quickly.
Empty nesters and Incredibles. I don't know. They probably won't go that far yet because they got to make about 4 more of these.
Right.
It took them forever to make 2 of them, so God forbid.
I know. Clearly, you can tell that Disney and Pixar they've gone back to the well. They need some wins. A lot of their stuff, except for Inside Out 2, which just randomly fucking became like the highest grossing animated movie of all fucking time.
People love that movie. It made like $1.6 billion.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Except for that. Minus that, they have been kind of not been doing very well in the animation department. I know Wish came out last year, hasn't been very good, but like... Yeah.
It just feels like I can just see every single title here. I just see Bob Iger just like talking about, charts and revenues and stuff like that. Like 2 more Frozen movies announced, Moana 2, fucking get Tron back out. Let's just, Snow White and Hercules, just make all this stuff live action. Let's do a story about Mufasa.
Bro rubbing his hands together like a fucking cartoon villain.
Toy Story was supposed to be dead after Toy Story 3. They ended it so well, and then they fucking brought it back, and now there's going to be like 10 of those.
That's what I was talking to Oscar about off air, which I guess we can talk about a little bit, is that Toy Story 5 is getting announced. Which the whole point of Toy Story 3 was supposed to be the fact that it was like, you're supposed to be able to move on from your toys and move on with your life. And they said, you guys can do that. We're not going to fucking do that. Enjoy Toy Story 4, baby.
That's the fact of the matter, is that toys don't die.
He said they sure don't. Here we are again, baby. Buzz Lightyear's got no legs, no arms, but he's back on the big screen. Yeah, I thought... You said you never saw Toy Story 4, Oscar, is that right?
No.
It's not even worth it. It's okay.
Yeah, somehow I did. I don't know how.
I did as well.
I saw it in theaters. See it just because, like, I do like the Toy Story movies. It takes a lot for a movie for me to go to theaters to see it, and then I hardly ever watch movies at home at this point.
Everything that was good about 3 and just like the way they wrapped that up, like heartfelt, you feel something. I don't know. For me, maybe I'm just not the target demographic anymore. But for 4, it just felt soulless and just like, felt like a money grab. I mean, that's what this is going to feel like too, I bet. Although, like, I mean, I don't know. I had a really bad idea.
No, let's hear it.
It's just like the fact that it's like, and which is an interesting thing to explore with these characters, the toy characters, like fighting against like a tablet,
Oh, yeah, right.
And it's one of those things where I think it's going to be too on the nose, and I'm just going to go, ugh. Every time something like that happens, we're like, we can never compete against a Game Boy. Right. Daddy, I want a PlayStation 5.
How's that going to work? Will the Game Boy be able to talk and the games, or is it just the Game Boy can talk and the cartridges are not?
That's a good question.
Like an evil AI like character. Like,
oh no, who's going to voice the evil AI?
If all of my PlayStation games can talk, they're all going to be sad because I only play them once, and then they're going to sit there and collect dust for the rest of forever. So I'm definitely neglecting most of my video games. Let's be real.
Right.
What if we go about digital? What if it's not a physical copy? Do they talk? Do they get a world, a life?
That's a good question.
No, because then it's just Wreck-It Ralph.
I'm about to say, because listen, Assassin's Creed Odyssey is sitting there, and they're probably crying their eyes out because they've never been played. And never been installed on my computer. Right.
I just had the thought of like they jump ahead a little bit. He's like a teenager, you know, and it's like
Devin.
against like porn and like he's just
Devin.
I was going a much nicer way than that. I was gonna say that they're gonna reference Fortnite. They might often reference porn. I don't know if they're gonna reference porn. That's I'm leaving that out.
He's like, how do we get him to stop cranking them out every night?
Not cranking them out's crazy.
Jesus Christ!
I would like to see that. That would be a funny kind of farce of Toy Story.
That's a parody. That's a Shrek movie right there. That's a Shrek parody.
The Toy Story gang versus Pornhub.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the last episode of the Fourtress. Oh,
yeah, I think Disney's gonna ruin us now. We're done. All right, let's move on. That was basically Pixar stuff. Worth talking about because we are somehow, Brian. You're right. We keep talking. Let's get to Star Wars, the last and final a little subgenre category of Disney. But to do the first segment, we gotta get to our final trailer park, Brian.
Mom Spaghetti.
Oh, wow. What a remix.
It's a little Daft Punky.
I like it.
Bring it
back.
Okay. Have you seen me and Daft Punk in the same room? You haven't. So
he got a little more sci-fi, which is perfect. Because for this first little bit of Star Wars news, they showed off the trailer for Skeleton Crew, the newest Star Wars show. It's the Goonies, but in space. It's very much kids on a space adventure in apparently the Star Wars universe but this world, I didn't know the suburbs existed in Star Wars.
And that's what I was about to say. You know how this show is not going to be shit? We have never seen a normal ass suburb in the Star Wars universe. Either you live on a sand planet or you live on Coruscant. Those are the only two places you've lived.
Right.
You don't live in a fucking suburb where everyone has fucking ranchers and goddamn Star Wars world. What is happening here? What is this? They don't know what the fuck Star Wars is. They don't know.
They're literally just looking at like the Goonies playing for every scene. They're just looking over it like, okay, yeah, do that.
1,000%. Which, look, again, if you definitely have to have, I don't know, a liking to that kind of genre movie. I don't know if you guys remember seeing Super 8, which is like basically J.J. Abrams making the Goonies.
Which I like Super 8. Don't get me wrong.
And E.T. I like Super 8 too. That's why I'm saying, like, this could work. This could actually, honestly, be kind of fun and like a little lighthearted romp with some darkness. And look, Jude Law as a cool potential Jedi man with these kids could be kind of fun. Could be kind of cool stuff. There could be some fun. He'll probably die sacrificing himself for these kids, maybe, but who knows? Yeah. But I got some hope only in the sense that, again, kind of like Acolyte. I don't know any of these fucking kids.
True.
And I'm okay with that. I don't even know when this takes place, to be honest. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so that's coming out this December 3rd. Created by at least, I think it might be two people. And definitely one of them is the John Watts, the guy that did the 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. So he's got a good, pedigree for working with children actors in a childhood type of setting. So, it could be fun.
Is it going to be a show or a movie?
It is a show, Devin. I'm sorry.
Stop it. I'm waiting until the end, and then I'm going to stream through all of them. So.
All right, moving on. Speaking of shows, but this is one I think we're all probably very excited about. Andor Season 2. We didn't get to see any footage.
I don't need it. I'm already locked in.
I mean, yeah, I think we're all pretty much locked in for this. Like, coming out next year, I believe. Rumors is during the first quarter, but who knows? Either way, man, I'm excited. Takes place over the course of 4 years. Apparently, we got some footage that was shown that showed off K2SO, his cool robot buddy they find. So we're gonna get to see the meaning of him. Also, Krennic, the bad guy from Rogue One, as well, will make an appearance. I would imagine we'd see some other people from Rogue One somewhere in this along the way. Obviously, we get the same people from Andor as well, Mon Mothma and fucking Stellan Skarsgård character whose name I don't remember. But yeah, we love Andor, man. We fucking love Andor.
It's one of the better things that have come from the Star Wars universe, to be honest, period.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, period.
This is one where I wish there was more, I really wish they had stuck to their original 5 season plan.
Absolutely.
I agree. I agree.
So sad they're only doing it at one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real bummer, but you know what? Maybe we should be grateful for that less is more.
Right.
I don't know, man. I mean, this is what Star Wars needs.
It's so
more
easy
Andor. Like
to milk the life out of something, though, right? That's the biggest worry.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
The best shows are shows that know when to end.
But I trust them because Andor was so good. Like I want more of that influence on Star Wars.
But Devin, just think.
We know a fluke.
I would say only because I know how you felt about House of the Dragon season 2. It could have gone that route.
I'm about to say
that is true.
We know a fluke. Wonder Woman and then Wonder Woman 1984.
Right.
They were like, what do we get right about this original movie? Let's not do any of those things. Sometimes things are just lightning in a bottle and the lightning escapes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
See, like House of the Dragon had knew already that they wanted 4 seasons and they still are dragging their feet somehow. So maybe this is for the best. Who knows?
True.
Maybe Diego Luna's like, 1, I don't want to fucking do this for 5 years. 2, I'm gonna make this shit the fucking best it can be and then just walk away forever.
That's totally fair. I can't be mad at it.
Very excited. But Devin, you were mentioning movies. And what if I told you that there's a Star Wars movie in the making coming out May of 2026? 2026, we're getting The Mandalorian and Grogu. It is the movie season 4, whatever, of the Mandalorian movie that they're showing off a little things. Apparently, we got to see Grogu in some full Beskar Mandalorian armor. Yeah, this is going to be a movie. I'm going to see it. We're all going to see it, obviously.
Y'all are going to have to tell my gravestone what it's like because I'm not going to live to see any of these movies that come out 8 years before they announce 8 years after they announce it. Because what the fuck, dude? 2026? I can't
That's
carry it 2 years from now. I can't.
I was really upset when they fucking said when I read May 2026. I swear I thought it was gonna be May 2025, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Now I don't care. It's too far. Am I excited? I mean, yes and no. You know,
I hated Mandalorian season 3. I thought that shit was so bad. So I'm not excited.
But I think what Mandalorian could use is like the conciseness of a movie. I think
that's exactly what I was going to say. You know what the Mandalorian could use? Less Mandalorian. 2 hours of Mandalorian is exactly what the Mandalorian needs.
You know what? That's totally fair. You're right on the money with that.
Yeah, we'll see. And, you know, people love Grogu. I think he's a genocidal maniac. But when's the little fucker going to talk? And what is he going to sound like?
He erased a race of people.
He sure did. I'll never forgive him for that.
You should.
There were a few eggs left.
Oh, great. What if they're all male?
So it's gonna be like the Targaryens. All they got that fucking cousins got to fuck each other because that's all that's left now. Great.
Devin said, "Adam and Eve, baby."
Dang right.
All right. So that is it for the Star Wars. Quick little mentions of some things that we didn't get to see, but because they weren't like huge announcements, but did happen to be there that I thought were going to be kind of fun to just throw out there. This was one just because it's funny to make fun of The Rock again. He's doing a movie called what is it? Monster Truck? What is it called?
Monster
Jam.
Not Space Jam. Monster Jam.
Apparently, the crowd went mild when this announcement happened.
Because he said, "I love monster trucks," and everyone's like, "Okay."
Disney is not the crowd for monster trucks. You need to go to a MAGA rally.
I don't get it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard sell. I don't know what he's doing there.
I mean, maybe it'll be cool, but like, is it gonna be a story behind it?
Monster trucks are cool if you go and see real monster trucks. I don't want to see a movie about monster trucks.
Yeah, that's very
the same way I didn't go see a movie about Gran Turismo, the video game. Who the fuck gives a shit?
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I don't know.
I hate to be that person, but I don't know. You gotta really sell me hard on that. I love Rampage, that movie. I didn't want to see that movie, and I even like the game. I played the shit out of that game.
Right.
Monster trucks are such like a disgustingly American thing too. Like
they really are. They really.
What do you do with the plot here, or is it just like a documentary? Like I don't understand.
Great question. I'm sure at some point he will take his shirt off.
Going sleeveless for sure.
At least. Yes.
Let's face it, guys. He made a movie where he was a dude with one leg that jumped across like a building or whatever. Like he doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
One other thing, they're not surprising, but didn't think about it. They're making The Greatest Showman an actual stage play, an actual stage musical show, which is kind of cool. But
that's cool.
Hugh Jackman will probably do it again because he does everything. He does everything.
He's a little Broadway boy.
We love him for it. Mm-hmm. Fucking Deadpool and Wolverine just crossed $1 billion because Hugh Jackman.
That's crazy.
So there you go. It's probably going to become the highest grossing R-rated movie.
I think it might already be.
Till you're 90.
What would be ahead of it?
The only thing that's above it, I think, is Joker.
Joker. Shit! I know Joker made that much money.
Oh yeah. people,
Really?
yeah, people saw that.
It's not a fun movie to go see.
It's
not,
a movie.
but, you know, yeah.
They made a new level of incel, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then they showed images, because I forgot this existed, of Freaky Friday 2. Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis are back. It's called Freakier Friday, which I'm like, good for Lindsay Lohan. You know?
That's what I was about to
good
say.
for Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. Good to know
I hope
she's
it's
alive.
really good. I hope it's really fucking good.
Amen. Let's have a nice wholesome comeback.
Exactly. But that is pretty much it, listeners. That is your little Disney D23 2024 little recap, catch up, and all of our thoughts. Yeah, Disney, we already know they rule the world. It is fine. It's not a problem at all for anyone. All right. Guys, shall we then move into our final segment of the week?
Let's us do it.
Let's do it.
Which we like to call Free for All, title pending. This is a segment, listeners. We kind of do whatever we want. Talk about our day, talk about life, fight, rant, argue, nap. It is free for all. I can very quickly go first because I finally caught up and finished the entire second season of My Adventures with Superman, the Adult Swim animated by Studio Mir, who aren't they the ones that did Korra? I think
so.
Studio Mir is the one that did Korra. Yeah. I was a big fan of the first season. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a cool new kind of anime-inspired take on Superman and all those characters in that universe. And season 2 kind of continues that. They, introduce Supergirl and a bunch of other different things. There's, it's not like it doesn't blow me away all the time. But it does have some really good moments throughout the season that I quite enjoy. I just want to highlight there's one moment at the end of episode 9, that involves Lois and Clark, and the music just kicks in, and it's a really sick, awesome moment. That's very much true to like the ethos of those two characters and how they get through shit and bond and stuff. That I really liked, and I did like the season finale. Very action packed, cool shit that I think that studio does fairly well. They have a very simplistic, almost kind of art style to this show that I love and also don't love at the same time. But I do love, for the most part, a lot of what they do with it. And I think it was very cool, unique looks to a lot of these characters. It's very different based off like original stuff in these characters. And the voice acting is done well. Like, as much as I harp on Jack Quaid being an Incel baby, and also I'm not sure if he's that great of an actor, he does a pretty good job with this version of Superman. I think he does a good job of showing both sides of this Clark and the Superman that I wouldn't have expected from him. So shout out to him. He's having a good year with the boys in this,
Oh yeah.
And then one last thing. Oh no, guys, I have to mention. I don't know if y'all saw the closing ceremony of the Olympics, but Tom Cruise is crazy. He's a crazy man.
You knew he was going to do something like that.
I was really worried.
I knew it was coming.
I was really worried he was going to die.
Yeah.
Me too.
Honestly,
a little bit.
Yes.
I thought this was going to be
funny
the end
enough.
of it.
Not when he jumped. I was worried when he was going to die when he had to walk through the crowd to get to the flag.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, he did you see he was like braking himself? Like he was controlling the speed of his own descent with that belay system.
That's what I wanted to bring up. That's why I wrote in my notes. I was like, he's crazy. He did that completely unassisted, I would imagine. He did that all himself. I'm like, you're a
like if
lunatic.
he let go of that rope, he would have just plummeted to his death.
Yeah. I'm like, what a psychopath.
That shit. He's got to stop doing that. He's one of those. He's not gonna die from old age.
He's like 65 years old.
Yeah, and he's not gonna die at 70. That's for sure.
No, God no. He's got the power of Xenu, man. He's not gonna die ever.
It's what he would want.
That shit's crazy.
Honestly, it was kind of fun. But I was like, I love how Tom Cruise he's the most American we can find.
Somehow he's the most American.
He's up there for sure. Brad
He's
Pitt,
definitely up there.
pretty close.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's up there.
Yeah, Tom Brady's the whitest
We don't
man
know.
alive.
Tom Brady's too much. Yeah.
That man's not a real human being.
Captain L'America, LeBron James.
That's pretty good.
Speaking of which, that would be my free for all. I am really
Wait,
depressed.
Devin, I'm not done. Hold on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait 2 seconds. I will say shout out to God Aurora.
Boo!
Damn, how could I have gone on without
Go
that?
ahead.
Of course.
Go ahead.
You know, I actually started Horizon Zero Dawn this week, so that was pretty cool.
Ooh.
It feels like sacrilege playing it with a Xbox controller, but that's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're a son of a bitch.
You gotta do what you gotta do, bro. I don't know what to say.
Anyway, They allowed it.
I
Okay,
guess
don't
it
blame me.
balances out because Brian's been playing Halo with a PS4 controller for like 2 years now.
Hell yeah, brother.
I mean, honestly, yeah, let's do it, man. The more the merrier.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I am depressed. Whenever the Olympics end, I'm really, really sad.
You're back to normal American.
Yeah, man. Like just when the Olympics, there's the whole world coming together and just like doing cool things and being nice to each other, and then it's like when the closing ceremony happens and they do like a little montage of like all the events, and then it just ends and it goes to like local ads and stuff. And it's like there's just nothing else coming. I always I cling on to every moment of the closing ceremony as long as I possibly can. But yeah, very, very sad it's over. But I will say the last two big events were both the basketball games against. Yeah, it was USA versus France in both. And both of them were fantastic. It was the best basketball games that I think that I've witnessed in a long time. And the reason is, I was looking it up. Well, first of all, they were very close games because France really wanted it. But they also have different rules. So you can't take timeouts because like at the end of NBA games and college games, they get really choppy, right? Like when there's 2 minutes left, if the points are a certain point away from each other, 2 minutes will take a half hour. Yeah. But the European rules, I guess FIBA, you can't take timeouts like when the ball is in play. You have to like wait for it to go out of play and then you can take a timeout. And you can't take a timeout if you didn't have possession of the ball too. So like there's ways like they basically they control the time stoppage so that you actually have to play the game for the last 2 minutes.
Which I kind of like that.
I agree. I hate
love
American basketball because it gets so shitty sometimes.
Yeah. I think they should definitely adopt those rules in the NBA, but because it would just make it, and it made the end of the game so exciting because like they didn't have time to like time out and draw up a play or something. You just have to go out there and play and hope they hit the shots. But man, like LeBron and Steph Curry, man, Steph Curry in the fourth quarter, he made like 3 or 4 threes in a row to just like kill the game.
Built
like France would not go away. But yeah, he just has like a magnetism to the basket. It's insane when when he's warmed up and heating up, he doesn't miss. Like it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah. It's good for the sport that like the rest of the world is definitely catching up to the US.
Which is so surprising considering we make them, we build them differently. Like, are people in France fucking 8'12"? Is that a thing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's so weird to me that's just like a thing that's becoming more normalized. And I don't know if that's like an immigration thing that's causing.
Have you seen Victor Wembanyama?
I mean, that's fair. Yeah,
Wembanyama. He's just like a long-legged. Like his arms are so long, but he's so skinny. But he can dunk like while he's standing. But he's also very quick and athletic and can shoot threes. And he plays for France. Mm-hmm. But they had like a good team effort. And like Serbia, I mean, the U.S. could have lost in the semis to Serbia.
We know they built the white men. The Eastern European / Russian white men get built in a different way as well. We've seen Jokic do the thing that he's done.
It was funny seeing him too because he was actually like really happy to like win a bronze medal. And he was actually smiling a lot. And there's like these compilations of like him like winning the NBA.
Oh, he's talked a lot of shit about it where he's like, I just want to go home. Like, I'm not even interested in this shit. And I was like, oh.
He's like, wait, I got to go to the parade tomorrow? He's like, fuck, I want to go home to Serbia. And then like, there's clips of him like singing songs with his teammates and like just, loving being there. And
good for him.
Olympics.
That makes me feel good. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Yeah, man. I'm just so happy to see LeBron being the flag bearer and just leading the team one more time. It was awesome to see.
Nice.
R.I.P. Olympics. Au revoir to Paris.
Boo.
Brian, what you got for us, man?
Part of me wanted to talk about the Olympics now that Devin's talked about, but I'm not going to. Shout out to Australia in the breakdancing competition. What the fuck was that? But we're not going to get into it because instead I'm going to talk about video games. Oh, boo, tomato. I want to talk about, interestingly enough, I always talk about how good it is to have a PC over a console because of all the things that a PC can do. Today I'm going to talk about why it fucking sucks to have a PC over a console. Because I'm going to talk about optimization in video games and why it's better to have a PlayStation 5 than it is to have a PC sometime.
Don't tell me this.
Because one thing that I've been talking about recently is my arduous journey of trying to complete Cyberpunk 2077. I've
Oh,
beaten the
boy.
main game, as we know, but I've been playing through the DLC, and I have been crashing. For some reason, the DLC does not like my fucking computer, which is really funny because I play that game on
no.
pretty high settings.
Yeah.
And I play the whole game on those pretty high settings without much issue. But for some reason, the DLC's added something different that my fucking computer does not like.
Shit.
And that's where we come down to the hard part of playing games on a PC. You cannot make a game for every single PC because you have to kind of account for all different like game types, all different, setups, graphic cards, RAM, CPUs, all that shit. There's a lot to account for. Whereas when we make a game for PlayStation 5, it is solely for one type of console, maybe two if you have a fucking diskless version or whatever the fuck that's not as good, like Xbox right now. But it's really not that hard or difficult to like really make a game for that console. But for PC, it's way harder. So I've been trying to figure out the way I can fucking stop this crashing from happening. It's going to piss me off, maybe not want to play the game anymore. I have deleted the game. I will revisit it later because I went out and I bought more RAM just because it was the easiest and cheapest way to upgrade my computer. I'm not buying a new graphics card. That's way too expensive. I wasn't going to buy a new CPU. That's way too hard to install. I didn't feel like doing anything like that. So I was like, maybe more RAM. I haven't done any like CPU benchmarks to kind of see what was crashing my game, which obviously I should have done. But I wanted to update my RAM anyway, and I just got a deal on it. It was on sale. So I was like, why the fuck not? Maybe it'll help. Maybe it won't. It doesn't really matter to me. My RAM is fucking my computer up, so I have put my old RAM back in because I got 32 gigs. I had 16 gigs, which is a decent amount for most games. You can usually have an issue with that, but I bought 32, and it immediately started blue screening my Halo, which was really fucking annoying because it was like I can play Halo pretty easily without much hitch just right now.
Right.
Like that game's not super intensive on most systems, but then I put 32 gigs, which should make it better. It was blue screening because something's faulty, something's going on. I've been kind of lazy about it because I just haven't had much time to kind of deal with it, but I'm kind of struggling trying to figure out like what's going on, what's not reading correctly. Is one of my RAM sticks like faulty? Is something going on there? And that comes with a whole lot of trial and error that like most people that want to play video games, they're not going to fucking deal with. You want to be able to turn on your console, play your game, and that be it. You don't want to deal with all that extra shit. And that sucks. I don't know. It really sucks.
A nightmare to hear.
Exactly.
Honestly, that is the biggest reason why I don't like it.
I mean, and that's the thing, and that's why I completely understand that kind of like aspect of it. Where it's like it was fun that like when I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's like I got to play it at like a higher level than people with a PlayStation 5 were able to play, and that was super cool. Right. But then in situations like this, where it's like most people can probably play Cyberpunk 2077 on their PlayStation without much of a hitch at this point. Now that they've done their updates and things like that. Does mine probably look better? Yeah, it probably does look a little bit better. It probably does run a little bit faster. I can get over 60 frames per second, things like that. Sure, but I also can't play the game that I want to play.
Right.
Which is arguably more important than it looking better, right? So that's kind of the issue that I'm kind of going through. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I'm actually kind of like happy that I led Devin, for example, to PC gaming because he really is interested in like the... how it works and what makes it works well and things like that. So like I was like, oh, I'm glad that I introduced him to that because that's something he could be interested in making his computer better and run faster and do whatever. But then I think about people like you, Oscar, where I'm like, fuck, maybe I shouldn't introduce you to things like that because it's like I know you wouldn't want to deal with something quite like that because that's fucking annoying when you're a person that like you like to sit down and play your games without much of a hitch.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely in that boat as well.
Sure.
But it does, you get a little curious. You're like, I wonder how I could improve this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like part of having like a gaming PC is playing with your gaming PC. The game is building your PC. It's not even about playing games anymore. It's just about fucking doing dumb shit to make your PC better so you can play fucking Roblox a little bit better. It doesn't fucking matter. So yeah, that's just been a thing I've been dealing with. That's been made me kind of mad. So right now, Cyberpunk is on the back burner, and I am going to start playing Resident Evil 2, the remake.
Scary game.
Yeah, I don't do well with scary games. So I'm a little nervous. I haven't watched a full playthrough of Resident Evil 2 remake. I only played Resident Evil 8 after I watched a whole playthrough of it to make sure there were no parts that would make me pee my pants. So we'll see. I know that the pause menu, that when you put up the map, I know it does pause the game. So
Oh, that's good to know.
That's good to know. That is
I
good
will
to
keep
know.
that.
That is definitely good to know for that game. Yeah.
Yes, I played the original, so I do know Resident Evil 2 as a whole, but I do not know what has changed, and I do not.
Right.
That game looked like shit. So
Right. That's exciting. That's fun as shit.
yeah, I'll keep you guys updated as if I even finish the game.
Right. Right. Very nice, guys. Very, very nice. Listeners, that is Free For All, which means that is the show. Thank you for joining us. You can email us at thefortresslove@gmail.com. Fortress spelled F-O-U-R. Feel free to email us any feedback, questions, recommendations, or anything like that. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and the YouTube channel at The Fortress of. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Follow the 3 Bollywood R's, rate, review, and recommend us to anyone and everyone you know. Thank you to Jackie for helping out of the pockets every week. Thank you, Brian, for the art, Alex for the music, and Devin, thank you for being here, even when you're not here. You can find Brian on Instagram at ITC_, by the way, Alex Sin Films. And Devin, you can find him at Sad Emoji Olympics Are Over.
Real, man. Real talk.
Next week, I don't know. Maybe House of the Dragon Season 2. Maybe Borderlands. Maybe some cheat code stuff. Maybe something else. I don't know. We'll be here and we'll figure it all out. And it'll be a lot of fun. Who knows?
Amen.
But as usual, listeners, happy holidays. And put a code on us. Put out there.
Stop putting Kevin Hart in movies.
I don't want to see Borderlands, but I feel like I need to.
I gotta see it. I
of
gotta.
110 and it made like 8. Oh, yeah, that's sad.
That's so sad. All right, listeners. We'll see you here next week on another episode in the Fortress of...
Pew